Faustine Ramirez, and they will be getting married on, I think, October 17th.
16th.
October 16th. Okay. So this will be a pleasant afternoon for her to make this presentation to us. That's it.
Well, thank you, Mr. Palmer, for that introduction, and I'm very pleased to speak to you all today. I am a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated as well, and with my degree from the University of Texas, Austin is very close to my heart. So welcome. I welcome you all here today to Waco, Texas, and I hope y'all stay with us. My fiance passed out a handout that he prepared for you all today about my topic. And I will discuss racial profiling, specifically focusing on September the 11th and the terrorist attacks and how media coverage changed because of that event. I'll discuss the media coverage prior to September the 11th and how it changed after September the 11th. But before I begin that discussion, there are some frames, some information that you all need to be familiar with, some key terms. The first term is framing. Are you all familiar with what framing is? I have a quick definition on my handout. Framing is something that occurs when journalists select one aspect of a topic and they choose to focus on that particular aspect. So it's not done on purpose, whereas spin is actually done on purpose. I know you all have heard of someone placing a spin on a topic, and that's actually done intentionally. But framing is different because framing is not usually intentional. Framing is usually done because of the background that a person has. It may be because of their race, their religion, their gender. It's because of the things that they bring to the table as a human being. It's based on those things. Okay? So this is just a textbook definition. I am a professor, so if y'all feel like I'm teaching today, let me know. I'm going to try to set it so that it's informal, but I always incorporate a little bit of teaching into my talk because I think it is important for people to learn new information. But framing, as I said before, it occurs when journalists select one aspect of the perceived reality and they make it more salient, or they tend to play up that particular aspect of the topic in their coverage. Objectivity, that's something that you all are all familiar with, but I propose in my paper that although journalists try to be objective, in the end it's impossible to be objective. And why do y'all think that's true? Why is it impossible to be objective as a reporter? Personal biases. What else? Your sources. What else? Pardon? Okay, your employers. Good. Because an example of that would be if you write for Fox and your article has a liberal spin, what will they do to you? Well, they ask you to do your story. They'll ask you to rewrite your story. So that's very good. Okay, so this is a definition of what the journalist's role is in reporting. The journalist's role is to define the meanings of an event for their audience, and they actually go out and cover an event, and what they write is from their perspective. It's what they see, it's what they choose to attend to. So that's why in the end journalists end up framing topics. Okay, the making of a frame. These are some of the things that go into the making of a frame. As I said before, it's going to be race, the type of education that a person receives, their socioeconomic status. All of those things are going to make a difference in how a person frames the topic. And these are the ways that we can actually see frames in the media. The first one is going to be the topic that's discussed. The second one is going to be sources. Someone mentioned sources over here. The types of sources that they choose to interview. If they're liberal, then they're probably going to choose to interview people who are more liberal in nature. If they're conservative, they're going to interview people who are conservative. So that's how frames they come forth based on sources. Another one would be sizing, the type of focus or the attention that a newspaper gives to a topic. That's sizing. That's also going to result in framing. And the last one is photos. This is an example of how a newspaper can frame the topics with photos. If you see the picture that's on the left, do you whereas on the right, she looks very caring, very friendly, very nice. And you see this a lot in the news where just through photographs, they're able to put a particular spin on a topic. Okay, sources is another one. Reporters can add credibility to a topic, or they can take credibility away based on the type of sources they have for a story. If, for example, they're writing a story about welfare or a topic and they're a conservative person, then they may choose to interview someone who's not considered mainstream based on societal values. Whereas if there's someone who, if they're more liberal and maybe their mother had to go on welfare for a few months, just to get back on her feet, they may look for a variety of sources when they're writing a story about welfare. And you all see how that works? Okay, so just by the types of sources that you interview for a story. Okay, we saw a lot of framing examples with the Reverend Chairman Connor Wright debacle during the Barack Obama campaign. What were some examples of framing with that debacle? Examples that emerged.
Anti-American.
Okay, yeah, that he was anti-American. What were some other examples? He was racist. If his pastor is racist, he must be racist. Yeah, just showing that clip over and over and over. And what were some differences that you all saw with Fox versus MSNBC and how they covered that topic?
I don't watch Fox.
Personally, I don't watch it either, but just, can you just guess?
It was snippets of, what
okay.
they brought out. They didn't really, so
they took it out of context.
Right.
They didn't show, or they didn't say, well, this is just a portion of his speech or a portion of his sermon. They showed it as if his whole sermon focused on some of that negative information. How did MSNBC cover it?
The right way.
They covered it. They talked about it being taken out of context, and this was just a portion of his sermon. The liberal way. And also, they also discussed the idea that this was his pastor, this was not Barack Obama. And just because his pastor feels this way doesn't mean that he has the same beliefs. So that was the difference in coverage there. And so that was a very good example of framing. And so getting to our topic today of racial profiling, before September the 11th, it was primarily covered as a problem for